Hello, everybody. All right, there was like a slight glitch on my side, so hopefully you guys didn't see that, but I don't know. All right, so I'm going to read today, July 7th. It's Getting It All Out. Let yourself have a good gripe session. And that's a quote from Women, Sex, and Addiction by Charlotte Davis Castle, PhD. Get it out. Go ahead. Get it all out. Once we begin recovery, we may feel like it's not okay to gripe and complain. We may tell ourselves that if we are really working a good program, we wouldn't need to complain. What does that mean? We won't have feelings. We won't feel overwhelmed. We won't need to blow off steam or work through some not so pleasant, not so perfect, and not so pretty parts of life. We can't let ourselves get our feelings out, take risks. We can let ourselves get our feelings out, take risks, and be vulnerable with others. We don't have to be all put together all the time. That sounds more like codependency than recovery. Getting it all out doesn't mean we need to be victims. It doesn't mean we need to revel in our misery, finding status in our martyrdom. It doesn't mean we won't go on to set boundaries. It doesn't mean we won't take care of ourselves. Sometimes getting it all out is an essential part of taking care of ourselves. We reach a point of surrender so we can move forward. Self-disclosure does not mean only quietly reporting our feelings. It means we occasionally take the risk to share our human side, the side with fears, sadness, hurt, rage, unreasonable anger, weariness, or lack of faith. We can let our humanity show. In the process, we give others permission to be human too. Together, people have their not so together moments. Sometimes falling apart, getting it all out, is how we get put back together. Today, I will let it all out if I need a release. Dude, this is like yesterday. It reminds me of yesterday, and just the whole part about being human. I'm reminded of a story. Um, you know, early on in my recovery, like when I was quitting drinking and drugging, I met this woman who I share a lot of her wisdom. I am who I am because that woman loved me, when I didn't even know what that word meant. And I remember one day, I just thought that she was just amazing, just the strongest person, the wisest person. I looked up to her so much. And I remember one day being in the car with her, and I think she was on the phone or something. And when she got off the phone, she just started bawling, like just crying, like this gut wrenching crying. And she said, Lisa, I hope that you don't look down on me for crying. She said, everybody needs to get it out sometimes. And I remember like not not judging her at all, being amazed that she could cry in front of me because um for me, I was still kind of stuck in like an old mentality of or thought process of like that crying meant that I was weak. Crying, you don't let people see you cry because they will kick you when you're down. That's like where I came from. That's the mentality I came from. So um I just thought that she was just the bravest. And that's what she did that day. She gave me permission to be human. She showed me her human side. And in doing that, it allowed me to show my human side too. So I began to open up and become vulnerable with her. You know, man, it's just such a beautiful thing. I just can't even believe that reading. And that's exactly um, what I was becoming aware of yesterday. Um, just through everything that I was going through, it's like, I can't just like walk around and act like, if I talk about this stuff, it's like, it's not that I don't want to look weak, but it's more like, I had this like thought, like, I can't trust anybody, or nobody's going to understand, or, people are just going to like kick me when I'm down, because it's like, it's like some sort of like paranoia or something. But the truth is that this is why we need each other. It's like there's that saying, there's a saying, it's like, thank God we all don't go crazy on the same day, you know, because imagine that, you know, it's like, but this is why God gives us each other, you know, so that, you know, I can be strong. Another thing, I'm reminded of another thing that, you know, this woman, her name was Maureen, and I remember one day just like making a really big deal about her. And she said, "Oh no, don't you go doing that to me." She said, "Me and you, we're in the same boat. The only difference is that you just got out of the water and you're still soaking wet and exhausted from moving your arms and trying to keep your head above the water to keep you from drowning. So I'm doing the rowing." She said, "But don't you think for 1 minute, one day you won't be doing the rowing for me." Dang, it still gets me. And that's how it works. You don't get to go through these trials and triumph through them for no reason. It's not to be like held high and in some sort of glory and bowed down to. No, it's so that you can show others how to triumph through that trial too. Boom pow. All right, let's see what the Shaman Oracle has for us today. The upper world. And this one wants to come out too, so we'll see. In the Serpent, let's see what this is. 59 and 46. So 59 is a 14, which reminds me of the Temperance. So that's like healing, I'm getting right away. And then 46 is a 10. So there's some sort of ending, a closing out of a cycle. This is just looking very much like water. So it's like healing. Okay, let's read. Let's read. Let's see what it has to say. So first we'll read the upper world. Okay. Upper world. Angels, divine helpers, the ancient ones, and all varieties of luminous beings populate the upper world. It is a place where you go to retrieve your destiny and find out who you will become, discover your great potentials and undreamt of possibilities. It is also the place where the spirits of the dead arrive when they complete their journeys to the light. The invitation. The upper world is calling you to step into your fully realized self. Clear distractions so that you can move into a higher density. Do not fall to the temptation to craft a slightly more improved version of yourself. What you perceive as a problem or an obstacle is in fact the irritation you need to take to make the great leap. Remember, you cannot cross the Grand Canyon in 2 small jumps. The medicine. Ask your divine helpers for guidance. If the oracle has already spoken to you, do not ask for more guidance. Take what has been offered. Now you must deal with the lethargy and the idleness. While support for a new destiny is not yet in place, a new destination is available to you if you act now. Wow. I'm hearing Wintertime by Steve Miller Band. Hear me calling, hear me call. So it's like the trumpet's blowing, okay? That's what I'm hearing. It's like, hello, are you listening? I just heard, Sana, can you hear me? I don't know what that is. Okay, here's the serpent. The serpent is the life force of Mother Earth. The coiled serpent of the Kundalini brings passion, healing, and renewal. She offers us the fruit of the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden and reminds us to shed the past the way she sheds her tired old skin. Serpent comes to offer you the forbidden fruit that will set your passion and creativity free. The invitation. The serpent power of the Kundalini is stirring within your chakras, gently asking you to embrace its mystery. Shed the old skin that you have been so attached to and welcome the vulnerable pink underbelly that will bring you a fresh experience of your life. Your passion and sexuality are awakening, and this can be scary. Trust the wisdom of the serpent to transform your sensual energies into beautiful, original manifestations. The medicine. When you shed the past gracefully, life will not strip it away with great drama. Indeed, that is something you want to avoid. Do not use your energies to seduce others or allow others to be seduced, even by your own ideas. I just heard go with the flow. So Yeah, and lead by example. That's what I'm hearing. And there's something here about embracing your sexuality just for what it is. There's there's no I just heard there's no shame in your game. It's like, you know, when you incarnate as a human being, like that's one of the pluses to it, because we do get to experience another human being in that, in this like sexual nature, like the way that humans interact, okay? Because on in any other way it's not as intimate, okay? Like if you incarnate as, you know, a pig or a fox or a bird, you know, the although they all mate and reproduce, nothing is like, yeah, the sexual exchange of humans. That's what I just heard. And so it is to be embraced and glorified. That's, you know, and just not to be overused in excess. We're not talking about that. But I feel like anybody who's tuned into this is like not really, they know that that's what I mean. It's like when it's meant, when it happens between two people, it's in a loving manner. So there could be something around, maybe there's something about like discovering your sexuality. Again, like I always get this well, not always, but a lot of times in my readings there's something about people like coming out of the closet, like maybe um you know, you're coming out as homosexual or whatever sexual orientation, whatever it is, and it's about just really embracing the humanness of that and the beauty of that. It's like that's, I don't know, there's something there about that. So just about like being feeling less awkward or intimidated of your about your sexuality and just embracing it. Like, you know, you can be sexy and you don't have to feel awkward. You don't have to, like, just because it might trigger somebody else doesn't mean like that's not a reflection of you. Just because some it might make other people uncomfortable, okay? That you are so comfortable in your own skin, but it's still, there's something here about being an example for others. Okay. So yeah, and it's just like as the more that you embrace your sexuality, the more you embrace like who you are, the being, the essence of you. That's what I'm hearing. The essence of you. It's like it's like easier to maneuver and move around in your day and create the life that you really want. So don't hide yourself. Like let's say for some reason it's, I don't know, they're giving me an example of like um if you wear like big clothes, oversized clothes, but it's like really you're like this teeny tiny person and like a certain, but still scared to be seen in something like that. Like I don't know, there's something there. So don't be afraid to show a little skin. Like you can show some skin and still be um you know, working for God. That's how they said it. So it's like it's not sinful to be um sensual or sexual. It's actually, they said masterful, whatever that means. So embrace it and just like move with it. All right. And I'm hearing that Steve Miller song, the Hear Me Call, the wintertime song. So anyway, I love you. I also want to invite you guys to check out my website. Use the sale code for 50% off. It's sale 50 and you get 50% off. So use that. And if you need to use any other payment options, just go ahead and contact me via email. All my information is in the description box. So um, and then I can work that out with you, because I've had a lot of people just have to contact me. It's like not even being able to purchase it on my website because they're using, Cash App or Zelle even. So just go ahead and reach out to me. But again, all my information's in the description box. And I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.